Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pointless Top 10, a show where we make top 10 lists of pointless things. Why are we flying by his pointless statue in Booty Bay? Because inside pointless things are treasure. Let's begin. 10. Number 10 are the Plague Spreaders, and the Plague Spreaders are these small necropolis-like buildings located in Zuldrak that are flying around and spreading the plague. And this is just a weird mob because you wouldn't expect a small building to be considered a mob. Like, you would almost consider it to just be part of the environment or like something that's part of a quest, but it is genuinely a mob. Like, when you look on Wowhead, there's people saying that they death gripped it to the ground. They can fear them. People used to farm their throwing skill on these. And then on top of all that, they can't actually attack. They just spread the plague. They can't attack at all. And so, yeah, it's just, these are just a really weird mob because it's like, it's literally just a small building spreading the plague. Like, when I first saw these, I was like, is that even a mob? And then I realized that you can click on it, you can attack it, and it's genuinely a mob. And I don't even remember these from Wrath of the Lich King, to be honest. Like, I must have just completely glanced over this area or whatever, but when I found this, I was like, this has to be on the list. And so that's why the Plague Spreaders are number 10. 9. Number 9 are King Soggle and King Wurgle, which are two Gorloks that are located in the Waking Shores, riding a wind elemental and a water elemental. Well, he's not really riding the water elemental, he's kind of just stuck in there. And they're part of a quest called a Sledgehammer of a Solution. And this quest says, I fear this elemental bombardment won't stop until we've dealt with the Gorloks. If I were Tharu and thinking actionably, I would go straight for their leaders. Without anyone to rally around, the fighting should dissipate and no longer threaten the wetlands. And not only are these two weird mobs, because we have the two King Gorloks trying to use elementals for war, but it's just chaos all over, right? Like, the entire situation is weird. Like, how did Gorloks even just start summoning these elementals to begin with, and the area is going crazy and nature's getting involved? But quest chain aside, I think it's just really funny to have two Gorloks that are, you know, riding an air elemental and then stuck inside of a water elemental. It's really weird, but I think it's funny as well. So I had to put them on the list. So that's why King Wurgle and King Soggle are number 9. 8. Number 8 are the Ogre Magi in the Abyssal Depths. And these Ogre Magi are channeling these big beams of energy directed at these big tentacles. And these Ogre Magi are actually part of a quest involving Lagorek. And Lagorek is a creature referred to as an ancient and a god by individuals at the Promontory Point located in the Abyssal Depths. And the ancient creature is slowly dying from the Twilight Hammer's activities inside. And so it says here that in the Undershell, which is where we are, the Ogre Magi are performing a ritual to connect him with a powerful creature far below. So I think they're trying to like connect him with an old god like Nazoth or something. I don't remember which old god's here, if there is one, but I think that's what's happening. But yeah, I put this on the list. I even wrote it way back in the day. I didn't know what to categorize it as, so I wrote it down in my pointless top 10 big document of stuff as tentacle ogres. And then I was like, tentacle ogres? When did I write this down? And I went and found them and I was like, oh yeah. And I was like, you know what? These are pretty weird mobs, even though they themselves aren't like that weird, but I feel like the whole situation is weird. So that's why the tentacle ogre mages are number 8. 7. Number 7 are the satyrs riding terrorfiend bats and throwing bombs around Valshara. And so satyrs, in relation to Legion here, it says, with their master Xavius returned once again, satyrs broke out of their imprisonment under Sheldrasil, and they had overrun both Valshara and the Emerald Dream as they spread the corruption of the Emerald Nightmare for Xavius, helping the Burning Legion along the way. Now, I've always thought that satyrs themselves are kind of weird mobs. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to put them on the list. I know satyrs are an actual, like, mythological thing that Blizzard just took and put into World of Warcraft, right? But I just love the fact that these satyrs are riding on bats throwing bombs. Like, it's such a weird combination. Like, number one, they're riding bats around, which is already, you know, kind of wacky. Satyrs riding bats. That's not really what I think of when I think of satyrs. And then on top of that, they're just like throwing bombs down, like these glowing red bombs. So like, I don't know. It's a really weird mob combination to me, if anything. I think that's what I felt is so weird about it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to put it on the list. It's not going to be high up on the list, but I want it to be on the list. And that's why these satyrs riding terrorfiend bats throwing bombs are number 7. 6. Number 6 are the Kobus, and the Kobus are a vicious amphibious race resembling large humanoid anglerfish that live deep in the undersea in Khazalgar. And the Kobus are actually distant relatives of the Jinyu and the Murlocs, and they pose a constant threat to the Halophal Arathi emerging from the undersea. I almost said undercity. They're coming from the undercity, everybody. to raid settlements in Hallowfall to eat or reanimate the dead, because apparently the Kobus actually have necromancers, which I did not expect from these like anglerfish people. And so yeah, I don't know, man. These are just some weird looking mobs, because it's like you can see the Jinyu and the Murloc vibes going on, but they really feel like they're from way down in the depths of the ocean. You know how whenever we see science and stuff that's like, we found some crazy fish down in the depths of the ocean, it's like some really weird looking fish. That's definitely the vibe that I get from these guys. And like, they're eating other things, they're doing necromancy, they're really weird. And so I was like, dude, I gotta put these on the list. And that's why the Kobus are number 6. 5. Number 5 are Spurt, Nanook, and Slushy. And Spurt, Nanook, and Slushy are prisoners on this random island in Azuna where they keep getting shocked by a Murloc. And I tried to find out more about this entire situation, because like, this is a really weird situation in general, right? There's just this random island of Murlocs that have these prisoners that are named, and I found one post on Wowhead that said this is almost certainly a reference to the 1922 documentary Nanook of the North. I've never seen or heard of Nanook of the North, so it's possible this is a reference to that. But to me, this is more of just a weird situation in general, right? You have like a Tuskar, a Penguin, and a Murloc. A Tuskar, a Penguin, and a Murloc walk into a bar, right? This is like a joke scenario. And then you've got all the Murlocs all around. It's just like, I don't know, man. And then there's the weird Murloc that keeps zapping everybody as well. This is more about the entire situation being weird. And so I wanted to put this on the list. I actually wanted to put this on a few lists and I didn't know where to put it, but it felt like it fit on this one. And so that's why Nanook, Spurt, and Slushy are number 5. 4. Number 4 are the Witches of Drustvar, and the Witches of the Heartsbane Coven are humans from Drustvar who have been empowered by the Drust. They are led by the matrons, and the death magic they wield has contorted their bodies. When a witch grows powerful enough, they actually slit their own throats to ascend. So yeah, that's pretty wild. Also, if you don't know what the Drust is, the Drust were a population of Vrykul who inhabited the island of Kulturas before the first humans arrived there. They wielded powerful death magic and mainly lived in Drustvar. And when you look at these witches, like, they really are weird. And I love the fact that there's lore behind it, right? Like, the death magic has contorted their bodies so they're all, you know, creepy and weird looking. Like, there actually is a reason to why they look like this. And listen, when I made this list, I already knew there was going to be another mob from Drustvar, because when I did unusual mobs in World of Warcraft and creepy mobs in World of Warcraft, they both had Drustvar stuff on it. And I was like, there's going to be more, right? There's always weird stuff or unusual stuff or creepy stuff in Drustvar. And I actually think that's why Drustvar is one of the coolest zones in World of Warcraft. It's just a very unique, cool zone. So either way, that's why the Witches of Drustvar are number 4. 3. Number 3 are the Lost Ones, and the Lost Ones are these highly mutated and deformed Draenei located in the Swamp of Sorrows. And you do have to feel a bit bad for them, because it says here that the Lost Ones were devolved further than the Broken, and the Broken were a devolved subrace of Draenei who live in Outland, and they were mutated after being exposed to the fell energies wielded by Orc Warlocks. However, the Lost Ones have devolved even further than the Broken, and many have been reduced to savage and primitive beasts. It says here that it's hinted that the name was given to them by the Draenei in Outland long before they came to Azeroth, because it was believed that their minds had already become lost. Now, with all that being said, and feeling bad for them, these guys really are weird. Like, they've got these glowing yellow eyes, they've got this kind of weird face shape that the main thing is the teeth, right? When you look at these guys, it is just these massive teeth that are really long up top, and then the bottom ones are really short. It's freaky, man. Like, it looks like a horror movie. But overall, these are some weird mobs, and that's why they're number 3. 2. Number 2 are the Pygmies, and the Pygmies are a race of small, primitive humanoids found on the Lost Isles and in Uldum, and according to Bran Bronzebeard, Pygmies share an unknown common ancestor with goblins. And I don't know what it is, Pygmies have always just been really weird to me, and it's actually interesting because it says here that during Cataclysm Alpha and Beta, Uldum was initially inhabited by sand gnomes, which were literally just like gnomes, but then they were replaced by pygmies later in development. Also, a cool pygmy fact is that the pygmy animation skeleton was later used for Grummels, Stewards, Jaster Gallywix, and Harlan Sweet. But yeah, they just kind of walk around. They're these tiny little goblin human creatures, and maybe, you know what, I think that's why I kind of like them, is because they are just a mixture of goblins and humans. And you know what, they almost remind me a little bit of Trogs as well. Maybe that's their common ancestor, is Trogs. And you know, with all that being said, if they made pygmies a playable race, I would make a pygmy. I straight up would. And you know what? They already ride turtles and hyenas, apparently. So there you go. They've already got built-in mounts. So that's why the pygmies are number 2. 1. And number 1 are trogs. And just since the beginning of World of Warcraft, I've always been kind of weirded out by trogs. Like, they just look creepy, they're weird, and trogs are a race of brutish cave-dwelling humanoids, originally descendants of the first type of Titan-forged manufactured by the Forge of Wills. Known for their low intelligence, trogs often come into conflict with their distant dwarven relatives. And we actually got some fun trog facts here, well, you know, as fun as it can be. Trogs are a reference to the word troglodyte, meaning caveman, and Bran Bronzebeard theorized that kobolds actually evolved from trogs. And they did actually update the trog model in retail World of Warcraft, but I decided to just mainly use the classic World of Warcraft trogs, because that's the ones I think of when I think of trogs. Like the low polygon, hair all over, warts and boils growing on their bodies. Like, I don't know, man. In the history of World of Warcraft, these have always just been the weirdest mobs to me, and so that's why trogs are number one. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Pointless Top 10. If you want more Top 10s, you could check out unusual mobs, or you could check out even more things I forgot in other Pointless Top 10s from last week. Also, like the video and comment below what you think the weirdest mob in World of Warcraft is. Okay? Okay. See you.